Good evening, lovely tubers. My name is the White Mexican, and welcome to Market Watch Investments. I have a plethora of cards that I'll be showcasing for you guys tonight. These will be my personal selections, and I do hope that you enjoy. Getting things kickstarted tonight is going to be Copycat. These are the Retro Pack 1 variants, donning as Secret Rares. Apparently on the TCGP right now, there is currently one listing, fat stack of this ridiculous price point here for a mod played, which is very interesting. So this is pretty much eradicated from the market. Obviously, pretty obscure set, very old. Amazing artwork, pretty cool effect. Obviously not the most strongest effect, but artwork is really great. Really great history merit behind this card. A very, very ancient card in itself. Let's take a look at a couple other variants. There is the Shonen Jump magazine promos, which I think are pretty nice. Again, I bag on ultra rares all the time, but there's certain ultra rares that I like. Some of them being the discontinued all Jump promos, and these are going for pretty good money. We're seeing the first market price for lightly played on here going for roughly around 43 bones starting market price, and then near mint goes up to 55. 2 pages of availability, and it doesn't look like there's an option for bulk pricing to switch to stacks. There's a 1-2 of here for around 74 bones for near mint. So really not a lot of availability for Copycat. There also is one more variant that I wanted to show you guys, which is the Dual Terminal 9 variants with this shatter foil right here, looking really, really cool, like shards of glass. This is the most affordable variant, and still, I think, for its price, it's the most aesthetically pleasing, being that DT is discontinued, and is just a great rarity. I mean, DT is kind of little to none rivaled in its beauty, in my personal opinion. So there's it's roughly around 2 bones. There is a stack of 13 here for lightly played for roughly around 2 bones. There's a fat stack of 39 here for roughly around 2 bones plus 2 bones and a quarter. Only 1 page's availability. And you'll notice this on the market in general across the board for the majority of the DT stuff. It's not really quickly. DT stuff has been dwindling for several years now, but this is a pretty great alternative, I would say, given that the Secret is pretty much just eradicated from the market. Ultras are like 40 plus. The DT is not looking so bad. Alright, next is going to be Macros Cosmos. There's some pretty cool rarities in this. My personal favorite, again, is going to be Dual Terminal 6. These were donned as rares. And I've been waiting for Konami to take this card and Skill Drain off the list. They've been hit to 1 for so many years. And I remember back in the day, I used to play this like Skill Drain Cosmos beater deck, and he had like Malefics, and it was just like this anti-meta, removing, negating effects, smashing with big heavy hitters, and it was just a really good time. A couple DD aspects behind it as well, with I think I ran Scout and Warrior, and it was just a good time. It was just nostalgia Yu-Gi-Oh! Several years ago. So taking a look at this, it looks like it's roughly around 6-7-ish bones starting market price. There's a stack of 3 here for 7. Then it goes to around, well, still 7 here for 15 stacks. So a couple stacks of availability here, 2 pages. This would be personally my favorite choice. There is a super variant and 2 ultra variants. If you want the Dark Revs, 4 super rares. These are pretty up there in price. We're going to go ahead and switch over the settings here. Starting market price is going to be almost 100 bones. Lightly played here for 89 bones. And then if you want near mint, it busts that cap of 100, going to all the way 119. There is a single stack playset here, but that's a pretty fat price point. Increases significantly. Aesthetically, this looks pretty great. I really do appreciate super rare a lot. I personally don't invest in Dark Rev stuff. I think it's kind of low rarity for high dollar, but I understand and respect that there's a lot of people that like Dark Rev stuff, and it's kind of its special own side market. So that's a thing. And then of course Raw Yellow Mega Pack and Legendary Collection 2. These are like Legendary Collection 3 and 4. They ran parallel as they reproduce a lot of the same cards in the same rarity. Really great stuff. And let's go ahead and take a look at Legendary Collection 2 because this set is older. This came out prior to Raw Yellow Mega Packs. So we're going to go ahead and take a look at some of these. Of course, you want to invest in first edition exclusively, always. And lightly playeds are going to be roughly around 7 bones. Near mints are going to be around 8 once you factor in the shipping. And let's go ahead and look at some bright bulk prices. Looks like there's 2 pages of availability. Jumps to 10 bones for near mint first editions for the first stack playset here. And then there's some fat stacks here, 21 and 44, but they increase significantly in price value. So there is quite a bit of availability. Again, this is definitely surprisingly an elevated price point. Usually this card's like around 3.5-ish range, and bulk pricing is obviously doubled that now. Not really sure why that is. I mean, again, this has been hit to 1 for so long on the Forbidden Ban list. Really great artwork, complete blowout effect. One of the most influential and powerful continuous trap cards. I mean, right up there with like Royal Decree and Skill Drain. It's a lot of great stuff. So that's going to be Macrocosmos. Next is going to be Exiled Force, specifically the Hobby League 4. Again, I kind of dip in and out of Hobby League stuff. Kind of an interesting story behind Hobby League. And these are just great. These are another special variant of Ultra Rare because they have like kind of like these square cylinder, like deeply embedded hollow foils, like which look really great. This picture does not do it justice. You can barely see the hollow foil at all. These were produced very well. Unfortunately, Upper Deck, I believe, if how the tale goes, is that they had some kind of rights to manufacture cards, and I don't really know exactly how they changed the formula to the cardstock or something. But these bow really bad. These are infamous for being known for you're not really able to use them in like higher echelons of gameplay because they're so thick. They're significantly thicker than normal cards, and they bow really bad. So it's considered technically marking cards at that point. So something to be aware of, but they are really great collector stuff. Hobby Leagues in general are just insanely old. The Parallel Ultras specifically are very aesthetically pleasing in my personal opinion. And we're going to go ahead and look at some prices here. It's roughly around 7 bones for lightly played. Near mints are roughly around 8-ish, 9. And there's a couple stacks here at the bottom, so we're going to go ahead and switch over to bulk prices. Stack of 21 here for near mint for 10 bones. Which is pretty affordable given that there's a fat stack at 21 and it's not even lightly played. It is near mint. Again, this is a really special set. It's extremely old. Definitely one of the more obscure things. This was kind of like a very highly promotional thing in the first couple years of the game, and definitely has Gen 1 collectability bled all over it. Really quick, we're going to go ahead and check the original super rare variants out of Legacy of Darkness. These are really going to be the only other, and I really do like both of these. Personally, I do like the Hobby League 4s better just because they do come off a little bit more just nicer. They look really good. Nothing against the super rares. I mean, the super rares are significantly older than even the Hobby League 4 Parallel Ultras, and some first editions are gonna grant you some pretty good price value here. Again, this is a collectability card. It's not a terrible card. I mean, it's definitely extremely old. You can kind of see the mechanics behind it. Simple one for one. Really do like the artwork. Again, this picture is terrible. You really can't see much of anything, but it's a really cool artwork. And again, Secret Rare was the ceiling back in Gen 1 era of Yu-Gi-Oh! So super rares were pretty sought after. We didn't get hollow foils in every core booster set back then, so it was pretty competitive to get super rares, which was cool. And there's a lightly played here for 7 bones, and then if you want near mint first edition, it's going to jump all the way up to 13 bones. So again, you're going to have that differentiation in price point, not only between unlimited and first editions, but first editions that are lightly played as opposed to first editions that are near mint. There's always should be a significant price increase. We're going to check for bulk stacks Bulk stacks apparently are just non-existent here. So it looks like there is a 2-stack here for roughly around almost 13 bones for lightly played first edition, and then there's 3 pages of availability, so you guys can dip into that if you want to. Really quick, I'm gonna kind of go through a rabbit hole here. DD Warrior Later, again, I wanted to showcase this because it kind of had the same treatment. A couple sets later, Hobby League 6 donned a Parallel Ultra, and you can see this one a little bit better. In this photo, it's a little bit better. You can kind of see like this square hollow foiling really deeply embedded. I've always really liked DD Warrior Lady, an extremely old Generation 1 card going back all the way to Dark Crisis, I believe was the original core booster set that this was released in. Pretty solid effect. Again, pretty watered down. It's not really something that you would really use nowadays in Yu-Gi-Oh, but still holds up kind of relatively well in my personal opinion. The biggest thing about this card is the artwork is just really, really cool. I love like the black leathering uniform stuff and like this like energy sword saber, and the background, the lightning is just really, really great. The Gen 1, like, I'm super biased towards Gen 1 because I was like a little kid when Gen 1 was around, and it just, there's so many just nostalgic memories in like these Gen 1 cards, and the collector's market is just, it's kind of like my bread and butter. It's something I really like, feel that I'd be considered like my like speciality, I guess, or something that I specialize in. I know the most about Generation 1 stuff and kind of more the collector's market, old school collector's market. So I appreciate these cards. Lightly played is going to be roughly around 13 plus. And then if you want near mint, there's 3 pages of availability here. It looks like the first near mint is going to go up to 24 bones. It looks like there is some stacks available. Starting stacks for lightly played for a playset is going to be around 16 bones. And then if you want near mint, it's going to jump up to 25 plus 99-cent shipping for a stack of 11. Alternatively, of course, just like Exiled Force, the original prints donned first edition super rare prints. This one got a Dark Rev super rare, which is, you know, some people are into that. This was a subset side set, so they were not manufactured in first edition. That's kind of my big turn off to Dark Rev stuff, is they weren't manufactured in first edition, which it doesn't really matter because they weren't produced in first edition. First editions don't exist, so it doesn't really matter. But it's just I'm kind of just like accustomed to like just being like borderline obsessed with first edition stuff. So I would personally, that and the original super rares, even though they are the same rarity, the Dark Crisis are the OG. They're the original. They're significant, if I can be so bold to say, significantly older than the Dark Revs variants, because they just came out first. They were like the first ofs of the first ofs. Again, this is all for collectability purposes, in my personal opinion, artwork, and just age in general. First edition copies are going to be 12 bones for lightly played, and then near mints, there's a near mint here for 17 bones, so not too much of a price increase for this one. It looks like there's 1 stack available for first editions. Apparently not. These are all 1 stacks. Here's a 2 of here for around 17 bones, because sneakily 5 shipping here. 17 bones for this 2 of, 3 pages availability. So really not, again, like these cards are just ancient, and they're just, it's just really good time. So anyway, okay, moving on. Next is going to be Inspector Border. So I am a huge fan of anti-meta. A couple videos back, I dipped into, I think it was Thunder King Ryo. And anyway, you know, you got your standard lineup. You got your Banisher of the Radiance, your Thunder Kings, and your Fossil Dynas. And then, of course, you have Inspector Border. Inspector Border. That's usually the lineup for these anti-meta builds. And this card is just great. This card is such a powerful card. I mean, it's a light level 4, 2k beater, and the artwork is like, it's like okay. I kind of like how he's like surfing through this city thing, but like the actual like robot cyborg android thing that looks kind of goofy to me personally. It was manufactured in high rarity secret rare, so it does have that going for it. That is high rarity secret rare, which is pretty cool. And this card just pretty much says no, and it really limits your opponent. And obviously, it's pretty much, Not really seeing much of anything out of Antimeta because it's kind of really the only thing you can really effectively run it in. And it's just an all-around just amazing card, and I really, again, like, really biased because I love Antimeta. I love blending different variants of tech cards and kind of just the idea of Antimeta in general. Of course, this is the original print from Extreme Force, the original core set variant. And Lovely Plate first editions are around 6 bones. Near mints are around 7. There's 3 pages of availability, so we're going to switch over to stacks. It looks like there's 1 stack available, stack of 6, for 10 bones, which really isn't that bad, given that it's a stack of 6 near mint first edition. That's a pretty decent price point. Of course, there are the Secret Rare Mirrored prints, 2018 Megatons. This was a pretty garbage set. There's kind of a little silly story I'll tell you guys. I was actually living in Japan when this product released, and I pre-ordered several boxes or cases, or just a lot of them. I don't remember exactly how much it was, but it was a lot of them. Because I was banking that Konami was going to reprint or reproduce the mirrored Secret Rares of Ash Blossom, because I think it was a Maximum Crisis, I believe it was the set that Ash Blossom came out of originally. And I wanted to get myself on the Secret Rare mirrored reprints of Ash, and they just totally shafted us, and they just completely, and you gotta understand, at this time, Ash was like $100+ card, and we only had the original Secret Rares. There was no reprints, and that everyone was like highly anticipating getting a reprint of Ash because everyone needed it because it was so expensive, and they just completely shafted the community and just did not reprint it at all in this set. So that was kind of a big sad, but definitely a life lesson for me personally. I think that was kind of one of the last sealed products, that and I think Dual Power. I don't remember if Dual Power came before or after the 2018 Megatons. It was roughly around that same era. Anyway, so yeah, I don't like ever. I still remember this. It's still kind of like a deep wound for me ever since they shafted us saying they didn't reprint Ash Blossom. And after I pre-ordered all this product, I was pretty kind of bent for quite some time after that. But anyway, these are significantly more affordable, which is interesting. Usually the original prints, and when they're rounded up against the Megaton mirrored reprints, are usually always the original prints are usually more expensive, but they're not always more significantly expensive, I guess you could say. It all just depends. So depending on how, like, the gap and difference of prices should be what determines if you get the original or not. With a card like this isn't like a collector's card. This is just like a beastly card that you can whip out every once in a while just to like inflict severe punishment on your opponent, which is really fun. And honestly, because I personally have the I think I have both, but I think I have more of the mirrored reprint, Megaton reprints, because this is significantly more affordable, and it is the mirrored rarity. These are still very much Secret Rare. There's absolutely no difference. They even come with first edition stamps and everything like that, so nothing to be too concerned about. Around 4-ish bones for lightly played. Near mints are roughly around 5. There's 3 pages of availability. If we switch to bulk pricing for stacks, it's around 5 for near mint first edition. And then there's a couple other variants right here. There is a European Deutsch German one here that I want to take a peek at really quick because I have dark addictions to European cards. And it actually looks really very similar as the name wise. But these Germans love their Ks. Use a lot of Ks and all that stuff. So we got our first Auflauge. Anyway, really great stuff. So moving on. Graceful Charity, again, I'm not really sure what's the trend, but there's obviously a lot of Hobby League content here in this video. Kind of just the way it worked out, I guess. I had my certain mindset, and it kind of just ran me down this like chain reaction of Hobby League stuff. But again, I can't say it enough. So much emphasis on the Hobby League stuff because it's so old. It's relatively hard to get because it is so old, especially for like really good conditions, because a lot of people were like little kids and they kind of just jacked these cards up, and a lot of them got destroyed or lost or are sitting in someone's grandma's basement somewhere. Not really sure, but these just, you have to see them. Like, again, they're just really bad photos. They really don't show it. You can see the square parallel foiling here, which looks really cool, but you know, these pictures are just really not that good. And one feedback, I love TCG Player. You guys are doing a great job, but if you guys could just try a little bit harder or figure out how to get more clear photographs for the cards. That would definitely be some positive feedback. So this is Hobby League. Obviously, there's no first edition copies manufactured because it's Hobby League. And starting market price for lightly played is going to be roughly around 31. Near mint's going to jump to 34 plus. And there's a stack of 5 here for 35 near mint. And there's 2 pages of availability. This is my favorite variant. Again, I really do like the Starter Deck Pegasus first edition copies. First editions exclusively. Emphasis, always go first edition. The secret rares are great too. Legendary Collection 3. Talk about this set all the time. Nothing but praise for this set and Legendary Collection 4, as well as Legendary Collection Kaiba. More specifically, 3 and 4. Just some amazing, like, Generation 1 nostalgic, iconic cards in, like, secret rare and super rare, and even the ultra rares came out very well. Personally, I think in this set, so definitely check those sets out. There's just a gold mine that is forever just increasing in value, in my opinion. There was a Dark Legends one, but looks like it's going for some good money. Again, this was a side set, and they didn't get first edition, so I much prefer the original. And one thing that's really interesting, if you notice, you look at all these sets, they're all side sets. They're all sub-size sets or reprint sets or whatever you want to call it. Graceful Charity did not come from a original core booster set, which is pretty cool. I think it's kind of interesting when cards do that. They don't kind of follow the standard trend. Obviously, one of the most iconic draw cards of all time, right up there with Pot of Greed. And alright, so if you're not going to get the Parallel Ultras from the Hobby League, I would really recommend, again, exclusively for the first editions, the very original OG print here as super rares dawning from Starter Deck Pegasus. Fun fact of the day, Starter Deck Pegasus was the very first Yu-Gi-Oh product that I had ever bought in my whole life. Starter Deck Pegasus was the first cards I ever owned, and it's a very significant product to me because this was like the genesis of my passion for this game, and it was my very first cards, and just a really great memory, which reminds me, I want to kind of get into asking questions or kind of showing content that can kind of off-spark certain memories for you guys, and that's one of mine. One of my special memories is, I don't remember exactly, I was in Michigan, in Farmington Hills, Michigan, and I was actually with my friend's older brother, and he had this Mustang, and he was like driving me around, and I don't remember exactly what we were doing, but I went into the store and I got this, and I remember being so excited because his little brother had got me into the game, and we were like, apartment complex friends and all this stuff, and he had some cards, and he kind of showed me some things about the game, and I guess I need to attribute, the credit to him. His brother, Josh, was actually the one that actually introduced me to the game. But his older brother was actually the one that, drove me, and I don't remember exactly what we were doing. But anyway, I picked up a copy of the Starter Deck Pegasus, and it was kind of game over after that. Everything just kind of followed suit after that. So I wanted to ask you guys, what were the first cards that you got? Was it kind of the same? Did you guys start out with a Starter Deck or a Structure Deck 2? Or maybe your mom bought you some booster packs, or your friend gave you some cards? I'm really curious. I'd really love to know. Comment below what were your first cards, and where did your first cards come from? Alright, so moving on here, lightly played first edition, and that's about 3 bones, so it's a pretty good price point here, pretty much affordable. What you notice here is there isn't really a bunch of stacks available for this card. There is 7 pages plus of availability. Again, you have to go first edition exclusively because this is going to be for collectability purposes. But when you switch over to the stacks for bulk pricings, that's where you see the significant decrease in availability. There's a 4 stack here for 10 bones, which really isn't that bad of a price, seeing how this is the very first print, an extremely iconic band card, amazing artwork. OCG, by the way, the uncensored artwork has a halo, which is really cool. I like that a lot. And then it goes up to over double for a fat stack of 25 for 22, and then 25 after that. So really, not really a whole bunch of availability. What I would recommend, if you guys can find some twosies for affordable prices, there's a 2 stack here, lightly played first edition for roughly around 4 bones. For the longest time, this card was like 2-3 bones. I was picking it up left and right because, again, I'm just like obsessed with the Generation 1 collector's market. Alright, moving on is going to be Magician of Faith. So this is going to be the original Metal Raider rares. Again, you know, this is beautiful. Like, this is some, like, I gotta give positive feedback to TCGP right here, because this is like a real photo. This is like clear and crisp, and you can see all the detail. You can read the card effect. This is how the cards pictures should look, personally, in my opinion. So anyway, so for the longest time, this card was banned. You know, simple flip effect, you know, retrieve one of your magic cards. I love how it says magic card, not spell here as well, as part of the original text. Anyway, the first editions are going for pretty good money. There's a Portuguese one here, which is, you know, Portuguese, so cool. Near mint first edition's 30 bones, and it is a 5-stack, which is pretty cool. TCG, or Core TCG, this is a really great seller. I buy from them all the time. They almost never mess up orders, and they're always really accurate and some good stuff. So you can kind of see it trickles up after that. Only 2 pages of availability. This is, because it is the very first print and it's exclusively for first edition, and we're going, you know, Generation 1 Set 2 Metal Raiders, that's why I wanted to show this one first. Of course, there is the Champion Pack 2 Super Rares, which are just ungodly expensive, anywhere between, you know, almost 200 bones to almost 700 bones, which for the longest time was the only holo foil that we had, being that this is such an ancient and just highly sought after collector set. There was the Speed Duels that got an ultra rare, so I mean, that's kind of a thing. Usually players tend to kind of usually have an issue with the Speed Duel stamp. Some don't really care. I personally don't really care. I've never really invested heavily in Speed Duels. I don't claim any knowledge. I've never really studied that aspect of the game or market or anything like that. But more significantly, besides the original first edition rares, and we got a lot of rares of this as well. There was the original rare, there was the Dark Beginning rare that they mirror the rarity, then there's also Dark Legends rares. So we got 3 different rare variants of... Oh, and then we also got the Retro Pack rare, which is apparently like almost non-existent too. Retro Pack is just ungodly expensive all the time. So 4 variants of rares, which is pretty incredible. But more significantly is the Duelist Saga. Again, if you guys have been watching my videos, Duelist Saga, really special merit on this. The only standing set to have this very rare, special, ultra rare holofoiling. There's actually a good picture, but you can't see the actual like lightsaber beam holofoils here. Holocoils. This is, for the price, since this is even significantly more affordable and a higher rarity of all of, you know, this special type of ultra rare, this is my favorite print that we have gotten for those reasons, just because it's really not too expensive. It's increased significantly. For the longest card, this card was like 2-3 bones. Now its starting market price is 6 and continues to trickle up after that. But this is for the price. I think this is kind of like the best bang for your buck. There is some Italian ones that I'm going to take a peek at really quick, because Euro cards are pretty cool. That actually looks really terrible. I think that's just a bad picture. It almost looks kind of too light. But I wanted to take a look at the bulk prices for this. It looks like there is a stack of, well, these are Italian for 7s. There is an English set of 2 playsets for 8 bones for near mint first edition. So, and then, you know, only 1 page of availability for the stacks. So, a really great choice, in my personal opinion. Next is going to be Skill Drain. Again, right up there with Macrocosmos and Royal Decree. One of the most powerful, influential continuous trap cards of the game. Really great artwork. We obviously got the censored version. This is supposed to be like a hell demon. In the OCG in Japan, it had like some demonic horns here, which are pretty cool. We got these goofy ass orbs. But moving on, this is one of my personal favorites. This is between this, the DT3s, and the original Dark Crisis First Edition rares. I think are the best variants that we have personally in the TCG. Starting market price for this is going to be 18 bones, and then that's for lightly played 18 bones. Near mint goes up to 22. There's only 1 page of availability. There's a single stack here, which starts at around 27 for a near mint playset. So again, DT across the board is just pretty much getting eradicated from the market, and I feel rightfully so. It's a really aesthetically pleasing rarity, and it's discontinued. So that just hosts some really great history merit and great collectability for it. Of course, we have the Turbo Pack Booster 8 Ultras and the Lost Art Promotion Ultras with the original Demon Horns here. But these are ultra rares, and I don't like ultras. It's kind of hard to explain. Like, it just comes off. Some things look really great. Again, like Shonen Jump, Gen 1 First Editions, DTs, Duelist Saga. Those look pretty great. But so those are available. They're just, they're pretty expensive, and I just don't really think that they look that great. I'd much rather have the Dual Terminal 3s, which I do personally own, or the original Generation 1 Dark Crisis rares, specifically the first editions, always, of course. And we're going to go ahead and take a quick peek-see at that. Lightly Playeds are going to be roughly around 13-14 bones. Near mint go all the way up to a whopping 40 bones. So again, just this significant classic scenario of a giant price increase from not only first edition to first editions lightly played to first editions near mint. It's just insane. And then there's a very bolsterous 10K price for these lightly played first editions. This is insane. Like, what are these people doing? 10,000 for I mean, I love Skill Drain, not that much. Like, I wonder what people like. This is pretty crazy. $10,000 Skill Drain. It's pretty incredible. Alright, so that's Skill Drain. Moving on is going to be the Neteria Whip. This is going to be the DT Rare version from Dual Terminal 2. This is a tech card that I use in my anti-meta builds. I usually only have this sided as one of. This is really popular, and also Grand Mole Spacian, Neo Spacian Grand Mole, whatever it's called, is another really great, a Compulse on legs. That's pretty great. But this is a really great, like, you don't have to even really play anti-meta to slap this down. A lot of people forget this, but this is a tuner. Level 3 Earth Plant, so, it's got all that stats going for it. It is a tuner, though, so potentially a synchro play, if you're into that. Artwork is kind of silly. It's kind of creepy, the eyes and the rosary and all that, and all this kind of silly shenanigans around it. But it is DT, really, aesthetically pleasing, and such an amazing control card. Like, this is so powerful to me. Obviously, you got to figure out a way to defend this. At least in my anti-meta builds, it's usually I slap it with a Moon Mirror or something like that. But and then, a lot of defensive traps. But all around, really great card, and surprisingly relatively affordable. I mean, near mint copies are like 3 bones. There's 3 pages of availability. Let's check the bulk pricing. There is a couple bulk pricings. Pretty much 5 bones for near mints for a 3 stack, then 6 bones for this 3 stack, and then jumps to 7 for this 15 stack. This is going to be the ideal choice. There is one other variant, which was the original print from Hidden Arsenal 2 Super Rares. Again, you need to go first editions if you're going to invest in this variant, but the dual terminals they're affordable enough. You might as well just go for the DTs because they're just better in every way, personally, in my opinion. Next is going to be After Genocide. So, interesting story on this. This was actually a name censorship. This was the original print, the original Generation 1 LOD magic stamped variants. And this is like really, really affordable. We can see like first editions near mint lightly played. Even if like we like switch to stacks, it's like barely a bone. There's a stack of 13 for near mint first editions. But then you go to the original print, and it's just like ridiculously expensive. One thing you'll notice is there is no first edition copies. So I'm actually like questioning my history. Like if this was and it would actually make more sense this way, and I apologize. I think I may have the history backwards. I think that actually no, that makes sense. The original prints were After Genocide, and then they realized, oh, we can't say genocide, we're going to censor it. And then when they reprinted Legacy of Darkness, and you can see here because they're spell cards and they're not first edition, so kind of like like special edition boxes, and you'll see there's no first editions on the market. So that was actually makes sense. The history lines up all right, but these are just really expensive. There's not a lot of them, so it's interesting that The original prints, there's just like an abundance on the market, the original uncensored variants. But then when they tried to fix it and reprint it, that is what's low on the market. This mod played one is like almost 30 bones. And then the first decent one as lightly played is 40 bones. Near mint's 50 bones, and they're all one stacks. They're just, it's pretty much been almost eradicated on the market. I don't know if this was like a major buyout. I'm not really sure, but this is kind of an interesting side story. So something I like to review every once in a while. Next is going to be Vampire Lord. So this is actually the card that inspired the thumbnail. If you guys can kind of see some resemblance, we got a nice cutesy little vampiress in my thumbnail for this video. I really like making thumbnails. I hope you guys are enjoying the thumbnails. I really try really hard to make my thumbnails a little different and something you guys can have some eye candy for. Anyway, original print Secret Rares. Dark Crisis, one of my all-time favorite Generation 1 Secret Rares. The artwork is just, unparalleled, really great, dark, sinister, deep Secret Rare holo foils. And back in the day, this has really great history merit because this was just an almost unstoppable card. It was really dreadful to run into this back in Generation 1 Yu-Gi-Oh! Obviously now it's pretty easy to run over, only having 2K attack, but back then it had such infamy and such a strong presence in the meta state, and it was just a really good time. And starting market price for this is going to be 95 bones for the lightly play copies here, and it's going to continue up and break the 100 bone mark. The first near mint is going to be 120 bones plus the shipping here. There's one page of availability. It looks like there is one bulk pricing stack playset here available for Near Mint First Edition for 140 bones, plus this 99-cent shipping. So really limited on the market. This is extremely old, a really great ideal target for the collector's market, and just an all-around really great card. Next is going to be Shadow Imprisoning Mirror. This is going to be the Dual Terminal 7 variants. This card is just a ridiculously good card. I don't know why more people aren't talking about this card or why more people haven't really copped this up. It has had a relatively significant price increase. For the longest time, this card was like 2-3 bones. We can see now starting market price is about 8 bones for near mint copies. And there's 2 pages of availability. We're going to switch over to stacks. The first place that stack goes up to 18 bones, then 20 bones, and then 40 bones. So rapidly running out for stacks for this. And there's no other really. There's like the Duelist League, like purple and green and red and all that, like silly shenanigans I don't really know about, which are pretty good money too, but I don't know anything about that market. But everything else just like a rare and common. So the DT, like all across the board, is going to be your best variant to invest in personally. Next is going to be Light Imprisoning Mirror, so just the other side of the coin here. Dual Terminal 7. We're going to take a look at some prices. 4 bones for lightly played. Near mint's going to go to 5 bones. There's 3 pages of availability on this. We're going to switch over to bulk pricing, and we got a fat stack of 25 for 6 bones for near mint. Again, there's a little bit more variance for this one, but nothing too impressive. I mean, just commons and rares pretty much got the same treatment. So the dual terminal is going to be your best bet. Next is going to be Jinzo, obviously an iconic card, huge ties to Generation 1 anime and Joey Wheeler. Great stuff. Really great set. Generation 1 nostalgia, kids' memories, really great stuff. It looks like the first English print here is going to be 176 for lightly played. If you want near mint, it's going to go up to 600 plus, almost 605 bones here once you factor in the shipping. Let's go ahead and see if there's any bulk prices. Of course, there's no bulk prices for this, so this is pretty much just rapidly getting eradicated on the market. This has always been something that is been on everyone's radar. Back in the day, I mean, it's a Royal Decree on legs. It's still like a good card. A 1 tribute, 24 beater, dark. built-in Royal Decree, killer artwork, amazing history merit. I mean, this is forever going to be like one of the most iconic Generation 1 monster cards in my personal opinion. And there's really not any other versions that are really worthy of much note besides the 2003 collector's tins, Mirrored Secret Rare. This, again, kind of going off of, like, childhood memories and trying to kind of dip in and kind of get your guys' stories on childhood memories and kind of your favorite cards and products and all that, and the first stubs for you guys. I have a really great memory, a little short story I wanted to share with you guys that I remember specifically about these 2003 collector's tins, the Jinzo tins. I think they had Joey on them. I remember visiting New York City as a kid with my family, and my mom bought me a couple of these tins. It was like 2 or 3 of them, and they came with like the 5 packs, like Legend of Blue Eyes and Magic Ruler and Metal Raiders and all that. But you got your tin promo Secret Rare Jinzo. And I just remember like driving home that night, and it was like really late and cold, and I remember I was in the back of the car and I was opening up these tins, and I remember pulling out these Secret Rare Jinzos, and I don't remember what I pulled from the booster packs, but it was just a really special memory. I think about that a lot, and that's just kind of like one of like the many memories of archives of memories that I have of this game, which makes it really, really special. So it's another thing I just wanted to share with you guys. Really good times. This is going for about 15 bones for the first lightly played here. There's plenty of availability here on the market, about 6 pages. Let's see if we can find a near mint. It looks like the first near mint is going to be around 27 bones. Let's switch over to bulk prices. There's 2 variants of bulk prices. There's a playset here for 20 for lightly played, and then it goes to 25 for this playset of lightly played here. So, Jinzo, ladies and gentlemen. Next is going to be Gateway of the Six. So this is the original OG print Stardust Drive. I'm a huge fan of Six Samurais. At the time, I wasn't. Six Samurais were like dominating like crazy when I first came back into the game in the summer of 2011. It was like Gateway at 3, Shein at 3, a whole bunch of crazy shenanigans. It was not fun to play against, and coming from the mindset of like Gen 1 Yu-Gi-Oh! Then coming into like a heavily like synchro influenced fast paced game with like trip Sheins was not fun. But after it kind of got washed out of the meta system and like overpowered and all this other stuff came out, I went back to it, and I really do appreciate Six Samurais, and I enjoy it's kind of a fun little side. I think they're cool, and they're cool. I have a really good friend who really likes Six Samurais as well, so this deck kind of reminds me of him as well. All right, so lightly played is going to be roughly around 10 bones, and then near mint is going to go all the way up to 36 bones after you factor in shipping. So again, you see that significant increase between not only first edition and unlimiteds, but first edition lightly played to first edition near mint. There is only 1 page of availability. This is not the only super rare variant. There was a Spirit Warriors reprint, which is like dirt cheap, and then there's a couple other commons, but again, for playability purposes, obviously just get a playset of this, drop 3 bones, get a playset of first edition, near mint first editions, and they're still hollow foil, it's fine. Make them lightly played and do what you need with them. Feed them to your dog for a snack. But the original ones, of course, you're going to get exclusively for the first editions for collectability purposes. If you just want to completely hollow out the deck. For collectability purposes, not for playability purposes, please do not play a $35, $37 first edition super rare just because you want to look cool. Like don't damage your cards like that. You just be smart and have it because it's cool to have high rarity, but don't ruin the cards, please. All right, next is going to be Legendary 6 Samurai Shein. This is the highest rarity as the ultimate rare, of course, Storm of Ragnarok. One of my all-time favorite level 5 synchros of all time, right up there with Neteria Beast. Such a ridiculously, probably the most powerful level 5 synchro of all time. This is very, very, very up there as well. This is going to be roughly around 90 bones for the first copy, lightly played first edition here, and then near mint's going to go to just a phantom under 100 bones here, which happens to be a 2-stack. Let's see if there is bulk prices. There is not bulk prices, so it looks like that 2-stack is going to be as close as you're going to get towards a playset. Legendary Six Samurai Shien, ladies and gentlemen. Such a great card. One thing that people kind of forget about is Great Shogun Shien. So this is one of the older Six Samurai monsters, and this card is really great artwork. It's not this dark. Again, this is just a crappy photo. It really does great with like the crimson red and like the purple background, and it just looks really cool. Really great artwork, little like glowing eyes and stuff. And this has a really good effect. This is a really good control effect. Obviously, it's not as powerful as the Synchro, as Shien's, but for its own merit alone, it holds up well. I mean, you just drop this, you special summon, it's a 25 beater, and it has this huge restriction on your opponent, which I think is pretty great. And when you combo it with the Synchro, it's just even better. So, pretty good market price on this. Lightly played first edition copies are going to be 40 bones, and then near mints are going to be around 68 bones. There's 2 pages of availability, and there is a single stack price of 4 here, bulk price for 100 bones for lightly played first edition. Now, keep in mind there are other variants that are pretty great. There is a super rare original prince. So you have Striker Neo's original, again, go for first editions. If you're not going to get Ultimate Rares, you can go for the original Super Rare first editions, which are relatively affordable. And then you have the Legendary Collection 2 Secret Rares. And these still look pretty cool. Obviously, they're not as, aesthetically pleasing as the Ultimate Rares, in my personal opinion. But these are really great. And these are actually worth pretty good money, too. I guess it's automatically defaulting to bulk stacks here, so unless this really is, maybe I just switch these. So 20 bones for the first stacks, or the only stack, playset, first edition, your mint, 20 bones. I don't know why it's, I guess that's all that's left on the market. Apparently there's only one playset, and that's it, is what I'm reading. So that's a thing. You can go for the original first edition supers or the secrets. Same with this. There was, of course, the Spirit Reapers donned, sorry, I can't like type and try to do YouTube at the same time here. Okay, so these are the secret rares here, which are really nice, and these have been slowly trickling up in price. They're about 5 bones for first edition near mint, or first edition lightly playeds. But what I'm more interested in is the stack prices, because stack prices, this is a card. Oh, we have some Italian ones. You guys know I have to take a quick peek-see at this. That looks pretty cool. And Spirit Reapers did well. The secret rares, not really the ultras or the supers, or I think this was their secret and super actually for the set. If I'm not mistaken, I believe Magi Bullets or Magical Musketeers came out of this subset, which is another just amazing subset side archetype deck grouping, which is really cool. Really great mechanics behind that deck. And this is roughly around, I mean, if you want Italian ones, there's a stack of 9 for about 5.5, and then there's a 4 stack here for 5 plus 99 cents shipping. There's really just not really a lot, though. You can see there's a couple pockets here, but then they go away after that. So this would be the healthy alternative if you're not going to get the first edition Ultimate Rares, because again, like, you might as well just go out. If you're going to go Ultimate Rare, go for first edition Ultimate Rares or these first edition secrets. Alright, next is going to be the bird, the one, the only, the infamous bird, Yatagarasu, LOD, Legacy of Darkness, Generation 1. There's only 2 other variants, both are commons, Retro Pack and Dark Beginnings. Kind of worth good money, so I mean, personally, you can sell them if you want. There's, if there's a buyer, there always has to be a buyer for you to have that value, that sell power, but Secret Rare Original Prince, great coloring on this. I don't know if this is like a magical orb or a marble, I don't really know what's going on, but definitely by far the most infamous spirit monster of all time. Yatagarasu is pretty infamous history merit in the game, going way back into Generation 1 of the game with Chaos Emperor Dragon and Witch of the Black Forest and Sangan and, pecking directly for game and all that great stuff. So lightly played first edition is going to be 165 bones, and then if you want near mint, there's only 3 pages of availability here. Near mint, surprisingly, is only 201 bones. So for given what this is, I think that's relatively affordable. Obviously, it's still a lot of money, but this has nowhere to go but up. And I'm really surprised that there is actually several for this price point available for these near mint first editions. Let's see if there's any bulk prices. There's no bulk prices available, to no surprise. So the infamous bird, ladies and gentlemen, again, this has just so many great memories of Generation 1 and just childhood nostalgia as well. So I wanted to showcase that really quick. Next is going to be some Lightsworn stuff. So Charge of the Light Brigade, original Secret Rares, Duelist Genesis, amazing history merit behind this. This was the set we got Stardust Dragon as a Ghost Rare, as an Ultimate Rare. Obviously there's some huge ties to Yusei and that era of the anime. And this card is just... It surprises me that this card is more expensive than Yatagarasu. You can get a first edition near mint Yatagarasu for 200 bones. And then this card, like, outshines Yatagarasu. Like, what? How is that even possible? Really cool artwork, really great card. Lightsworn is has amazing engine. It's very splashable. You can blend it with a lot of stuff. And just a really big fan favorite deck in general. That just blows my mind, though. Like, I would much rather have, you know, a copy of the bird, near mint, first edition, original print, secret rare, all its infamy, than, you know, spend almost 300 bones for a lightly played first edition copy. No discredit to Lightsworns. Lightsworns are great, but you know, when it comes to the infamous bird, there's no comparison in my personal opinion. So ridiculously expensive. You can see here it kind of trickles up after that, 2 pages of availability. Let's see if there's any bulk prices. There's no bulk prices. Again, I was looking specifically for the first editions. If you take off the first edition stamp, these are still worth good money. I mean, it's like 30 bones plus for even unlimiteds, but no one really cares about unlimiteds because they're pretty much useless unless you want to sell them. I mean, that's all I can really say. You know, if you have unlimiteds, just sell them. Get whatever value you can salvage and move on. Okay. Next is me, Judgment Dragon, of course, the one and only. I'm showcasing the original Light Destruction first edition secrets because I like these more than the Ultimate Rares. I'll review the Ultimate Rares in a little bit, but personally I prefer the secret rares, so I'm going to go ahead and take a look at this Italian-European one. Looking pretty juicy. Alright, moment has passed, and let's go ahead and take a look at the market values for this. First English print is going to be lightly played first edition for 140, and then it's going to trickle up past 200 bones for the near mint first editions with 236. And there's a Deutsch one. There's a Deutsch German one here. I gotta take a quick peek-sees at this. Okay, that looks really... I'll be honest. I really have to say, like, I like Italian stuff, but German cards outshine every time. It's just the way that they spell everything, and just, I don't know, German just looks cool. I like German a lot, so that looks pretty nice. 1 page of availability. There is one bulk pricing, one playset here for a Phantom under 300 bones for lightly played first editions. Alright, amazing. Next is going to be the Ultimate Rare variant, Turbo Pack Booster 1. So that's pretty cool. It's not only Turbo Pack, it's Turbo Pack Booster Pack 1, the very first booster pack. Really great. Again, this doesn't look as bad. Again, this picture is really quite bad. Bad quality. They did not come out this dark. This makes it look a lot darker than it is. It is a relatively dark card, but it looks better in person. And okay, so we're gonna go ahead and even damaged ones are worth some money there. There's a French one. Okay, I have to take a look. It's been a while since I've seen a French card. They put it sideways. That's unfortunate. Alright, moment has passed. My deepest apologies. My indulgences in European cards is like unparalleled. Okay, so lightly played is 325, 326. And then your mint is 476 bones. So obviously ridiculous money on this. And again, and this is why like I prefer the secret rares because I think they look better, and I'm pretty sure if I remember correctly, I think they're even more affordable than these. So anyway, ladies and gentlemen, really quick, so for playability purposes though, obviously the secrets and the ultimate rares like take the cake above everything else. For playability purposes, Duelist Saga also manufactured a ultra rare. So those exclusively first edition running, that's personally what I play when I use the Judgment, the Lightsworn engine. These are the ones I use, and I think they work out well. Alright, next is going to be Dark Hole. So, you know, we have Lightning Storm and all that. It's kind of taking it to a whole nother level. But this is, and Raigeki as well. But this, you know, original print, original magic stamped here. You know, magic stamp, Legend of Blue Eyes, Generation 1, Set 1. This green tint to it as opposed to the newer blue tint of the cards. And just an all-around, just, you know, amazing history merit, amazing artwork. And again, just Generation 1 goodness on this. The near mints are kind of, you know, all over the place. Those aren't really too easy to kind of acquire. They're not too difficult to acquire. It's when you get to the first editions, those are where it starts to go up significantly. You have some foreign ones. And then there is, apparently, I don't know if this is English or not, but Lightly Played first edition is around almost 80 bones. 2 pages of availability. If you want near mint first edition, I'm really surprised that these are actually, so European print English, European print. Okay, so it is English, so that's cool. It does say Magic Card, LOB. I think it has a little echo here for European. Looks pretty good. Anyway, so I'm actually surprised. That this and these, if they really are truly near mint first edition copies, original magic stamp, all that good stuff, this is very surprising. I would not be surprised if these 3 go off the market relatively soon, just because that is relatively affordable. I mean, it's still 100 bones is 100 bones. I mean, it's a lot of bread for a piece of cardboard, or for a cardboard, but it is Yu-Gi-Oh! Cardboard, and that's why we're here. That's why you guys are watching this video, because we just have dark addictions to cardboard. Personally, my favorite variant. Alternatively, there's the Legendary Collection 3 and Legendary Collection 4 Secret Rare First Editions that look really, really great. High rarity of Secret Rare. I'm going to take a look at the Legendary Collection 3 Yugi's World, because these were produced before Legendary Collection 4 Joey's World, and they're older, and Yugi in general is just a more fan favorite anime character overall. And there's a playset here for Lightly Played First Edition for 3 bones, roughly. There's 5 pages of availability. I don't know why there's not I can't do bulk pricing filter here, but there is a 3 stack here. So again, Legendary Collection 4 ran parallel, so you can check that out if you can't get it from this set. That's also available. Twin Twisters is going to be next. So I personally prefer the original original Breakers Shadows First Edition Super Rares. This card's really great. The pitching a card from your hand is not necessarily a negative. There's so many cards in this game. Like, I personally run a playset of this. I main a playset in my zombie builds, in my Doom King build, because you want to pitch cards, and there's a lot of off spark effects that you can do from pitching cards to the grave. So this is pretty great. We're gonna go ahead and look at some prices. 3 bones for near mint first editions. Let's see if we can find some bulk prices. It's about roughly around 5 bones. There's a stack of 4 here. 4 or 5 bones near mint first edition. Really, really great stuff. Of course, there is the ultimate rares, the Shadow of Valhalla's secret rares. Those are really great too. I personally don't like the ultimate rares. They came out way too dark. But you know, people love them, some ultimate rares, so I mean, there's always going to be value in this. But personally, if you're not going to go for the original super rares from Bosch, you might as well go original first editions. You might as well go for the secret rare reprints, because those look really great as well. The last card that I have for you guys tonight is going to be Raigeki. Again, I know Lightning Storm is running around like the plague, and it's a thing. You know, we have Harpy's Feather Duster now. Dark Hole got completely just like left in the Black Abyss. No one really talks about it, so I just wanted to shine some light on it because it needs some love. Still a great collector's card. And who knows? I mean, again, there's that potential of when a deck comes out that it wants its monsters to be destroyed and sent to the graveyard to offspart, like, potentially graveyard effects. This could potentially come back in and increase in value. So who knows? Time will tell. So again, Generation 1 Set 1 LOB Magic Stamped. This card is great for collectability purposes. And one thing I wanted to mention about Dark Hole, specifically for these original LOB Magic Stamped, the Unlimiteds, and this is kind of like sacrilegious. This is probably like one of the first times in my life that I'm going to recommend this, and you won't see me recommending this very often, little to never on this channel. But because of the age and how insanely old these cards are, and because of how expensive the first edition copies, I would recommend, because these are so affordable, like a near mint original print is like less than 3 bones, a slightly played is like 2 bones. I think that it would actually be a relatively sound investment to cop up even the Unlimiteds for these, just because they're so affordable, and there's a pretty good abundance you see here. I'm curious if there is this one stack available for 6 bones. Obviously this increased significantly. This is no longer in like the 2 bone range, 2-3 bone range, especially with this $5 shipping. That's really annoying. I hate when people do that. But that's a recommendation, and same thing for Raigeki. So really quick, I'm going to showcase just to kind of see, you know, the significant increases for the first edition copies. Apparently, if this is English, it's around 100 bones for a lightly played first edition here, and then it breaks at 100 bone point and continues to trickle up. If you want near mint first edition, let's go ahead and just take this off, and that's going to go to like 200 bones. There's a French. I gotta take a look at this. Okay, all right. So that was pretty interesting. Anyway, okay. So what I was saying, because the near mint first editions are so affordable, we can see like lightly plays are like 3 bones, and there's, you know, a couple onesie twosies here. Because of the age and how old these are, now granted, they're never ever going to be on the level value of first edition prints, but they are just so affordable, and they are so ancient, extremely ancient. I think it'd be a sound investment to pick up some of these onesie twosies for the ones that are like, you know, the most affordable ones, the 2, 3, 4 ones. Once it starts getting to 5 bones plus, that's kind of where I would cut it off personally. Thank you so much for watching these videos. Yu-Gi-Oh! Has been part of my life for several years. I love the deck building, the community, the brotherhood. This is such an amazing hobby. Life is boring without hobbies. It's important to have hobbies. It's important to have things to be passionate about, to be interested in and invest in, and have something to talk about with your friends. And it's just all around really great times. Great time in this game. The world is a really crazy place. Please remember to take care of each other. There's a lot of depression, anxiety, stress, isolationism. Be a brother, be a sister, and please love and take care of each other. I hope you guys are making some fantastic Yu-Gi-Oh! Investments yourself. This has been a showcasing by The White Mexican, and I will see you in the next video.